this evening. Okay. Hi everyone, I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I'd like to welcome you all back to my channel on YouTube, Spirit to Spirit, Teaching Going With Itself, on TikTok, 1974 Lanesville, and I'm also live on my Facebook if you're on my channel. If you're new to my channel, I would recommend, suggest, and I really encourage people to read the description on my YouTube channel, Spirit to Spirit, Teaching Going With Itself, so you can get a better understanding of what it is that I do bring forward on my platform, on my channel. Some of you are, you're already aware of what I bring forward, and it's a whole lot of weirdness sometimes and a whole lot of crazy, and, my channel's not for everyone. And it's sure not for the lighthearted and ones who aren't willing to think outside the box. Oh, shit, it's already starting. Now, most of you, if you're in and you're coming to my channel a lot, you know that I do bring things forward. And last night I was live and I did a video with regards to Jesus, Yeshua, Mary, and Peter. Well, tonight I'm adding Paul to that. This is kind of a part two, because there's a lot of religions that are fighting against one another, and you see a lot of it here on TikTok. And you see Muslims asking Christians why they're not this religion, and then vice versa, Christians are asking Muslims. And you have the Catholic. I was going to say Protestant and Catholic at the same time. You have your Baptist, your United, your Hinduism, your Buddhism. Yeah, the Jewish and it's a whole lot of holy shit. You try, you want to try and understand it all. Okay. I was talking a lot about Peter too, because I've been doing a lot of stuff. And what brought me back in today to talk about this is because back almost a year ago, back almost a year ago, I was writing something down and I was channeling. And what I was channeling was, back off, Bula. We ain't taking your shit. And I know, it's I relate it back to my great granddaddy, my sixth great granddaddy. Okay, because it's excuse me. My sixth great granddaddy was leaving breadcrumbs, okay? And me channeling this was telling me, interestingly, it was really freaking weird, okay? Because I could feel it. I was looking up what Bula meant. Interestingly enough, it brought me to a specific seal, which represented St. Peter and Paul. Oh, fuck. It's starting. Yeah. My channel's not for everyone, and if you're having a reaction to what I'm bringing forward, then I guess you're part of those spirits, okay? Because you had the religions fighting when Jesus or Yeshua, whichever one was put on the, whoever, Mary, whoever was put on the cross. Okay? Peter denied Jesus twice. It was said, I'll bring this up last night, it was said that Jesus established, or Peter was put into Pope because Jesus established it before his death, but it wasn't until after Jesus' death that Peter became Pope. And on top of that, he said that he gave him the keys to the kingdom. Well, how would Jesus give Peter the keys to the kingdom if Peter didn't quite understand what Jesus was saying? Because Jesus was teaching the other teachings to Mary Magdalene, and that's what Peter was jealous about. Right? Oh, fuck. Oh. Okay? But see, on this seal, like I said, it was Peter and Paul. You know, do you ever hear that saying, like, you know, you feel like you have no money and you say, I feel like I got to rob Peter to pay Paul? Okay. Paul was sorry, let me get that straight. I'm not going to say he was killing. Prosecution of Christians. He was zealous and relentless in his prosecution of Christians. That was Paul. Now, my question is, okay, because we're looking at the different religious belief systems and what have you, was Paul a Muslim? Fuck. Okay. I'm asking these questions. I'm allowed to ask the questions because, you know, we're trying to understand this. Or like your church is telling you, you read your Bible, you know, do this, do that. But they want you to do that, but they don't want you to ask them questions. How dare you ask questions? You're to take us as its truth. So I'm asking questions. Okay? Because it was said in another thing that Paul was saying, basically, I guess now that, was it that Jesus was no longer with him, that he was the father? Oh, crap. Seriously. I can feel that. It's right here in your suy. Getting that in the suy, eh? Like, shit, man. You must be of the man's law. Like, seriously. So now, okay, think of this way. Then they're just right around Christmas time. Didn't Pope, was it, I don't know if it was Pope Francis or who it was, because I don't follow really the Pope stuff. I just know that, you know, the prophecy's been saying about a black Pope. And I just watched a video with regards to that, and somebody else said it's an oath they take and what have you. But is it a coincidence or a synchronicity that they open the tomb of St. Peter and then all of a sudden they have what people are, it's written down, it's already about him being a black pope. He's darker skinned, okay? Darker skin. And, you know, what have you. And then they say about the Antichrist being from the East. Well, did they mean the East of the world? Or did they mean the east of the United States, which everyone believes the prophecy to be, that the United States is Babylon? So if that was the case, well, this Pope, who's in power, said to be loved by like nations, rise to power, it got me like sitting with it for a while. And that's why, like, I posted a thing asking that question, like, are they sure that they meant like from the east of the world, or did they mean the east of the United States, which people say, like, and Nostradamus or whoever it was, people suspected that the United States was Babylon and is like the United States. Would you say it's fallen? You have Christians against Christians, because you got the two sides of the way that the Christianity believes. You have the Mary Magdalene, Jesus' Christ's teachings. I never got into the biblical text of it all. I don't go and read my Bible. I went through my own genealogy, and then after I went through my own genealogy, that's when everything started. I went back on my second great Grammy side, and it was a whole line of like right back to the 11th generation of men. They were rabbis. And then with my sixth great granddaddy, he had a religious seal, like not like that matched like his business. So he had a really high religious seal. My family in that, like at the beginning of it, they were Catholic, Protestant, Baptist, United, Lutheran. So I really started looking into it because, like I can relate to the Jewish community in many ways. And, you know, like a lot of people, and I've seen things like Donald Trump saying about, yes, I did bring up Donald Trump because it's part of it. He said about, what's that toy factory? Or the toy, like Mattel? Mattel. He was saying about Mattel and thinking it was a country. So I looked into, like, with regards to Mattel, and it brought me to a prince. I believe where I don't know where I have it. Ginatong. Because they even went in and looked up the four corners of the world. It brought me to Charles Martel, and it's 688 to 22 October 741. Martel being a sobriquet in Old French for the hammer, was a Frankish political and military leader who, as Duke and Prince of the Franks and Mayor of the Palace. And where was it said to be? Yeah, I'm looking. So it took me there. And it was really strange. And then I did a thing today with regards to, like, it had a picture of Donald Trump, and it was a message from my ancestors. It's on my TikTok. Now, it was like seeing that part of back off Bula, we ain't taking your shit. The Pope is very high up in the seniority, according to a lot of people. Like, there are people that, will say about um, God and what have you, but you will you will go and worship a Pope. And that's the part where it's like, how can you say, because obviously you're looking to this Pope as being your God, what Christ-like abilities do they have that's not known to the public? Oh, crap. Okay. See, your churches, okay, they knew this. Your religious leaders knew this stuff, okay, and they were all using it. Because if you think that Jesus was just teaching about God or what have you, there was two. Two. There was Yeshua and Jesus, and people don't want to believe that. Believe Jesus was probably more of the exerciser, more able to give a bit of tougher love, more of the mirroring, whereas Yeshua was a little more soft. So he was going around and he was healing people. Was he the one that, people don't believe this? That's entirely up to yourself. Have an open mind. Because I'll tell you, it makes a whole lot of sense. Because I seen this guy, like, he's a pastor, and holy crap, the way he talks about people who use crystals and sage and incense, it's like, dude, are you after the indigenous people? Like, holy fuck, what's your malfunction? And you say you're of God? You're telling people they're demonic? Then I guess you don't look to Christ, because Christ knew stuff. Shit, you guys, like, I believe it was Yeshua brought Jesus back to life. He brought Lazarus. His name was Jesus, but it was Yeshua. Jesus was more of the aggressor, the assertiveness, creating chaos, waking people up, saying, "Hey, look at this, look at this. Look at him, yes, yeah. Usted no tuyo, no porque sí, que eso todo en No, I have to ask, have you ever gone through an exorcism? Seriously, have you ever gone through an exorcism? Been the one doing the exercising or being the one being exercised? because I know. And I've said it on here a few times. Throughout this journey, 99 Catholic Church did an exorcism. They were the only church that would do it for me. My mother and my grandmother, they were calling all these different churches. We even called to try and get some advice from 100 Huntley Street. See, this is something that my family hasn't really talked about because it was a taboo. And when my ex-husband gave me some tarot cards, I was like really freaked out by it. And my family was too, because it was a Ouija board that I used. So for a while, it kind of, everything stopped. And then in 2006, I had my car accident. And I had a police officer a couple days later call me that was at the scene. He called and asked how I was doing, and he told me he didn't know how I needed everything. That was another moment, and I had a picture. My ex-husband went and took a picture of the car. And when I looked at the picture, for quite some time, it was like very PTSD. But when I looked at the picture, in the picture, no word of a lie, like when you looked in and you looked back towards the passenger side, there was a bubble. And in the bubble, it was like an image of me going. So that would show an out-of-body experience. But as you come back to yourself, it's like an orb. I know it seems like it's off track, but if you just follow it. If you can't follow it, then, I guess this isn't for you. Okay? Because this is a spirit channel. It's not directed towards any certain individual. It's towards the spirits. That this man, pastor, tells people that it's demonic. Are you telling mental health patients that they're demonic because they're experiencing this, but yet you'll give them a pill? Why are you, if they're demonic, and demonic needs exercising, why are you giving them a pill? Why aren't you doing what you should be doing? I seen a thing and it's like, like teach the book. But you don't teach the actual teachings. Whether it's because you don't understand what it is that it's bringing forward or trying to explain to you. See, if you're saying that a person's behavior is demonic and you're giving them a pill, why aren't you seriously? Because I'll tell you, when it's to that point, you need somebody who's going to be able to come in and take on. Jesus was the masculine. Yeshua was more of the feminine. Jesus and Yeshua both taught Mary Magdalene something. And that was to bring Mary Magdalene to her balance, to her center, to her masculine and feminine, to the oneness. Jesus was working on that. And that's why he said that he hasn't ascended to the Father yet. Ascending to the Father is the complete. That's why he couldn't perform miracles in his hometown. It's like I have people there, like you're talking about the Bible. No, I'm using the biblical sense as an example how for you to be able to relate to it, because no matter how you look at each person in the Bible is your ancestor. Okay, they're your ancestors. So if you look at what you're experiencing today in what you perceive to be a modern world, which, no offense, it's not really a modern world yet. Because a true modern world would not be suffering through death and poverty. Because it would come to that unity. They say some people just have to have something to believe in. Is it more of a masculine that needs someone to believe in or worship? Or is it the masculine that wants to be worshipped? So sitting with it, because you have the story about Adam and Eve, and but it was first Adam and Lilith, and they were created equally. But Adam thought that Lilith was there to obey him. I actually had a pastor bring me a card one day, and I found it on my doorstep. I wasn't home, and I opened it up, and in it had about wives shall submit to their husbands. That to me is almost to the point. And it's like almost like man's the one with the last say. Masculine is the one with the last say. What if you're wrong? Peter didn't like Mary. In that time, women were basically bags, dirty, unkept. I was channeling it in 2020 when I first started going through this. I was like, holy shit. But see, I was connected with spirits, and I had a whole bunch of stuff decoded, and they had me rip it up and burn it. I ended up ripping it up and burning it. And at that time, I was freaked out a lot of the time. before I got hit with the two flashes of light right between the lookers, holy shit, man. It was like, I just feel it all happening. And I even was messaging someone I knew and told them, like I'm being watched, because I knew I was being watched. And people said, well, that's just a part right now. When you're going down a fucking rabbit hole, and if you think that they don't know who you are as a spirit being, the soul, like where you are within your realms. It's like Men in Black. You come here, look what they do in Men in Black. But people say, oh, well, we're all from here. No, we're not. See, there's Men in Black is real. Okay. There's lots of different extraterrestrials, what you call aliens or what have you, beings that are walking around in secret. Some are making trouble and some are trying to make peace. But spirit jumpers, the exorcism. But it's other people's demons because it's part of you and it's getting on you. It's like it's trying to find its way home, and each person is that stepping stone to help them, for them to learn something. But you have to learn how to be in control of your own body. And that's the part where, when you have mass killings or what have you, and they plead temporary insanity. That's where you really need to have somebody come in and exercise, pull out the traumas, get to the itty gritty, try figuring out like what was going through the mind just before that. Take them in that moment. It's like when you have PTSD, that's what spirit's doing. Spirit's putting you in that moment because spirit wants you to see and see something that you're not allowing yourself to see. And it's usually because of the fear behind it. But it may be something good at the end of that fear. Enlightening. But you need to find that person that can do it. And that's what the churches were supposed to be doing. That's how they were supposed to be helping, the healing, right from the mental, right from the spiritual health aspect of it, right down to teaching them to heal themselves. Heal yourself, help to heal another, teach them how to heal others, and they will pass it on. But healing takes work. And by gosh, it's not easy. I was here one night and I was, well, it was kind of in the morning and I had waken up and I kind of laid back down and I was in between. I was awake, but I was asleep. I was more awake. And I was laying there and then all of a sudden I seen these two weird looking freaking beings. They were like gray and white in color or something like that. They were just really freaky. It was like, I don't know. They were about the size of a gray, but they weren't a gray. And it was like something hit them, and there's two of them, and then they kept transforming from the being to the person, from the being to the person. And I was getting freaked out, and I'm trying to back away, and my mom in spirit and this male, whoever this male is in spirit, they told me, no, just hang on, just watch. And then I see. Okay. Kia maka shuru ya sarana kia hata ai no bukata ai siki ore te kia ai bukore pe ya sola kai saka. Suno kasi imukata ai nukure i te tuku saka i nukusta e fion te i heta tore ku fion. This does sound a little fucked up, but I think these people were, I think it was telling me something about within the military. Experiments. Okay? And people know that like there's been agreements, okay? But now it's gone weird again. Just keep going. I'm not annoying. Okay, go back to Egyptian times, the hieroglyphics, okay? The of them being bird faces, amphibians or reptilians faces, crocodile faces, lion faces, what have you, okay? That was like a science. It was almost like it was a science experiment, okay? Um, I think it's Frankenstein where he's stitched together. Okay. I did the picture, and when I did the picture, and I decoded the drawing I did, and I come to it was zoology, right? The creation, creator of all, God, the creator, the eye of Horus, or the eye of Ra, or the Holy Spirit, the eye of God. Some say all seeing eye, evil eye, and I know I've been getting a lot of those, but that's okay because I'm wearing one. Now, when we when you go through this, okay, because that's what Jesus was trying to do with Peter. That's why Jesus was more with the harder souls, okay, lost souls, lost boys. You know, people will say, "Well, this is blasphemy. You're using like you're doing this with regards to Jesus." But no, I'm understanding. See, when people go around, and I see, I'm here on TikTok, and people are going around to different places and they're asking people, "Do you believe in Jesus?" I'm not saying, in all honesty, it is none of your business, but I understand where you're coming from in many ways. But I also understand where those people are coming from. Because maybe people did experience things at the hand of Jesus, because some say he is Jesus. That's what you're saying. Zeus got a lot of growing up to do. But Zeus, Jesus, I believe, does want to help people. He just got, sometimes they go a little too deep. They said that Jesus went to hell. Did you know it? Do people not say that there's this hell? You keep saying you're living in hell. Well, I have to ask you, why are you keeping yourself in hell? Sometimes because you're not ready to go to heaven yet. Like if you watch Once Upon a Time, there it had Emma. She was let's be the savior, what have you. She ended up becoming the dark one. And when she became the dark one, it was she had to take the light and try and light the light. But she had to be ready for it first. Because she, in the story, she tried to save her love. But it turned her because she was doing that in the way she did. It turned her. That's what darkened her. But she went to the depths of hell for him to pull him out. See, I know when I'm experiencing a jumper, a spirit jumper, or a being jumper, or what have you. I know when I'm experiencing a shift. I know when I'm experiencing something in a different realm, what have you. And I've had experiences. I've had experiences where they've used people to try and come at me. And it's mainly been verbally. But they'll use someone very close. They'll use someone very close to me. Because everyone's on a healing journey. And this is what this is about. Some want to be in control, and some legitimately are there to help people. But you get the ones in there that are corrupt. Their heart's been corrupted. They're experiencing spirit jumpers. One's trying to. That's where the exorcisms come in. Because it just doesn't happen on them. It happens on people. Like they shift. They shift, and you can actually, if you're conscious of it, you can actually see it happening. And that's why it said they know not what they do or say. That's why, like, I have to just, like, when something happens, I have to try and transmute it as soon as possible. But I do watch for a pattern. See, someone asked me, like, does that hurt? Like, or does it, like, when I go through what I go through, does it hurt? Or can I stop it from happening? Well, if you're one with God, with Source, Creator, Spirit, Universe, then why are you trying to stop it? It starts with you. Do I have control over it? I sit and talk with them if I'm not ready. I go inward. But sometimes there's stuff that it's like your throat chakra is clearing and it needs to come out. So when I'm not bringing it out, then I'm holding myself back. And it's like this, yeah. You know, the other night, when someone said something to me about that people were right about, like in front of them. And they said that no, it was just because of something they were saying on the thing. And I said, well, it was just like, see, don't fucking lie to me. I'm serious. I guess, if you're honest with me, my ego gets bruised. I guess that's something that's got to sort out. Because usually it's our ego that only it's full. And do I feel foolish for this, or do I feel ridiculous, or ashamed, or anything like that, or humiliated? No. It's people who try to make you feel humiliated because they're uncomfortable, or because they don't get it. So cheers, let's talk, man. Crap. Sometimes it feels like a big brother. Sometimes it feels like a father. Sometimes it feels like a mother or a sister. And it feels like they're feuding. Is it the four fucking siblings? You get four corners. It's like, I know that I'm remembering the languages of my ancestors. It's been passed down to me, the languages. Same as your ancestors. Their languages are passed down through you, but we've all been trained to suppress it. And if you think about it, if you're learning English, over time, your ancestors were learning different languages, right? So if they were learning different languages, would you not be able to speak those languages too? My ancestors spoke a corrupt dialect, and it was like different languages all intertwined together, and they understood. They understood each other. Kasi no te ano, wow. Questo da che sarei not che è caprino, dove sei? Che sarai? It's like you're seeing this in the physical world, but it's happening in the eternal world. Because it's like right here. Come on, Nala. la tu creían pura serial. Yung tatay, yung kaya kanan yung kaya Maria Panos. I'm not sure, like, I'll make you laugh, I'll make you cry, I'll piss you off. And sometimes you want to slap me or feel like you just want to, give me a good cuff right upside my head. And I understand that. Because nobody wants to see their real. And that's probably why I don't have a lot of people hanging around. And that's fine. And I say that because I can totally understand that, sometimes it's good to be able to have a dream. I was one, and I experienced other people marrying me in ways that had to empower me, like the teachings of Jesus. He was like the Taekwondo teacher. And some said he'd run away from a fight. Yeah, well, I believe you on that. Because I tell you, I did once. I don't know if I was in his spirit or if it was mine. But it was like I knew this girl and we got into a little tap outside and then like she was big, but I had her in a headlock because she was bugging me. And then all of a sudden I let her go and I took off running. Oh my goodness. Oh shit. Yeah, it's like holy. Yep. Oh, crap. Oh. I was an asshole. I know it's like you'd believe that I was like really wackadoo, and believe me, I thought I was. Like I knew something strange was happening. When you look at it from a different perspective, different lens, when you're under the microscope, don't you have different lenses you can flip? And it gives a different view. You have the one that's just like pinpoint, and then it's expansion, and it's like it's outside of your visual frame, outside that spectrum. But every so often, you get that out of the corner of your eye, and you're like, well, yeah, you weren't just imagining, you were experiencing, you were catching that, whatever it was. And some they say it's a paranoia, but you're actually moving, like there's a different frequency to it. Yes. Yeah, something someone had said, and it resembled changing the frequency. When I read up about what it was, I can't get it out right now. I may have it somewhere. You know what? Right in front of your face, Donald Trump was talking about frequency. Oh, it's like shit. See, those are things that you need to catch. And you know, this is what a lot of people come on and teach about changing your frequency. You know, there's the fake frequency and there's the true frequency. Distortion is fake. And distortion in a frequency creates chaos. So the frequency has been shifted. And it's you, if it's in chaos, it's you who has to shift it back because you have to come into unity. People will poo poo ones that say that they do mass meditation. And it's probably the ones that say that you do prayer. In prayer, they're probably usually asking for something. In meditation, they're going within and figuring out how to obtain themselves, master themselves, manifest themselves. And to some, that sounded stupid. When you, okay, because this would have been Yeshua probably. When he had a loaf of bread and, what was it, 4 fish or 2 or 4 fish, he multiplied it, right? See, Jesus didn't quite have himself mastered because he had to learn boundaries. He always wanted to be there for people, but at the same time, in many ways, he grudged them. That's where you get that he said people were selfish, ignorant, but he was himself at times too. See, when you say nobody's perfect, it's that part. Who are you to say who's perfect and who's not? Because are you not perfectly perfect for yourself? Just because other people don't get it. You're perfect the way you are at the moment. When you keep trying, you keep going forward. If you were perfect, would you learn much? You know, the ones that would might say that they were perfect for, you know, I was getting scholars, like people who's going to college. That's not perfect. Life skills are what you master. School is what you remember and program. I planted some bulbs today. Well, actually, no, I didn't. I helped with one bucket, but I have my plants in my house, and I planted. Well, I took some pepper seeds across. Well, I don't know, there was yellow ones and yellow peppers and green peppers. There's fruit falling together, so maybe I'll get a rainbow pepper. That'd be cool. So you plant the seeds and they grow, and it takes time for them to grow. If you think of, okay, Mary Magdalene going up against Jesus, okay, and then you become and you get too hot headed because he's always upset and she's always defending herself, or wait, defending herself, yes, through energy, like through energetic, but Jesus comes to her. They have they have a relationship, okay, whether it's platonic or not. Maybe it was platonic at one time, and maybe it stopped. But I said that I think that Mary met Yeshua and thought that Jesus was Yeshua. Who knows? Or, you know, I know some that'll say, oh, well, women want a bad boy. Well, you know, there's a difference between having a bad boy like a rope, like not somebody who's going to go beat the shit out of somebody or something like that. Now I lost my train of thought. Yeah, women, once it's that part, you know, you say about the protector, okay? When you have a woman who is in defense mode all the time, you can have that because they're rising up and they're at that point where they ain't taking the shit no more. And then when they finally rise up and say, you know, hey, well, you're fucking crazy. Like, hey, asshole. And it works both ways because women can drive men absolutely crazy. I'm not easy to handle right now because I know what I'm experiencing and stuff like that. But I experience other people's. I experience other people's energy. Can I block it? It doesn't. It only opens to those who have theirs opened to mine, because that is a form of asking for help. But I will know if you're trying to siphon me, because I just felt the change in my body. These are the types of secrets, things you're trying to keep hidden. And they keep telling you that it's demonic. It's spiritual growth. Does it seem demonic? Oh yeah, at times. Oh fuck yeah. It's like your body's going through a detox. Think about when you go into a detox. What happens? You have to go through all that stuff to get rid of that drug. But to fully recover from getting rid of that drug, you also have to get rid of the shadows that created that drug going in your body in the first place. Same as your traumas, what you hold on to. What are you holding on to? Why are you holding on to it? Talk your way through it. I really encourage people to do a video of themselves. I'm not saying to put it on for others to see, but do a video of yourself and listen to yourself, hear yourself, see yourself. And when you're doing it, speak heart to heart to whoever it is that you feel upset by, or joy, like have that conversation as if you were having a conversation about this. And then have a conversation with somebody, like have a conversation where it's like you're telling somebody else or giving somebody else some advice, and they're in the same situation as yourself. Give that advice and then go back and watch it. I just heard it's work. For those who don't want to do the work or feel like it is work, but aren't you worth it? Oh wow. It's just like the heart chakra opens. It's like when you have a valve and you have it the flap down so you can get through it. And then you open it and you start experiencing it coming through. And it's like, nope. So you're giving yourself the motion within yourself. Sometimes I do watch my videos. But I have learned where I'm hearing it and experiencing it as I'm doing it. That's why I'll pause. And it's like I have that with my mind because I've learned how to see myself, listen to myself, and hear myself. Do I always take my own self advice? Not always. Tipo, porque como achei que falar, I kept thinking that the thing was, I just like, I kept going back to the same cycle of holy shit, I was overwhelmed. And it was like, I had one experience where I was somewhere and it was like, I was like really going out. It was like I was just going to leave my body at one point. But it was like, no, because I was just having, it was like the anxiety of all of it coming in at me once. Because when you're in that type of place, especially if it's in a hospital, you're experiencing a lot of the energies, the spirits, what have you, trying to come in. And it's like, really good, but I still feel okay. I just heard, what does that do? Well, when you, like, if you feel energy, you're experiencing energy, you could feel pressure, just like one like that, you actually connect with with your chakras in the center, and where they're actually why you're experiencing it's you're off kiltering it, you're moving it away. It's like a magnet repelling it. I guess that's este como está en no puede estar en muy fuerte, eso puede estar bueno. Dijo todo por ahí que no está facilita. Y ya eso pudo era no era nada. Isa no pues me llamo como naina. Mi to kursi. Ya sa una kali na cara que será tudo isso todo leão. Ya está isso. So porque isso era praticamente né. Yeah, right now I'm doing it for clearing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling like, they're going to say it's demonic, but there's a demonic for you. It's not directed towards any person. I'm saying the ones that would say that I was demonic. He said, "I should have done this to do it." Yeah, it's I'm working on both sides of the shop. I'm going to different parts of my body. That was, yeah. Right now, it's right between the way I have my hands here now. It's almost like it's right between my eyes and in the back of my head. It's like meditating. I'm conscious meditating because I'm still aware of everything. It's like, yeah, you get that feeling of somebody over top of your room and go like that. Se eu souber, Mariam, isso não tem, né? Pois é. Yeah, so they say that the right side of the brain is the left side of the body. And I'm feeling it on the left side of the chakras. So in 2020, the masculine side of me was trying to steer me away. Because it didn't want to look at me. You know, you get those kids that you see the videos and you're like, coming and doing stuff and smashing TVs and stuff like that. At that time, it doesn't want to look at itself. You see that doing? So at times I'm healing, and at times I'm exercising. And it's implementing it both, implementing it all into your practices. If you're helping people, whether it be through the mental health community or through the holistic community, you still have to integrate it into like each practice learn. Because I mean, there's still people that are just, they hear about it and they get curious sometimes about it, but They don't want to because of certain affiliations too. Because you hear your grandparents or my parent, my father, he talks about the old ways that they made their medicine with just homemade products, and it worked better than the stuff you have today, which actually has alcohol in it. I mean, they did use gin, whatever it was, at times when for the older people. They probably gave their kids a little taste of whiskey to put them to sleep. And I'm not saying that's right, but it's you're putting alcohol in the medicines, but it's not. It's like a whiskey. I mean, who knows? Oh, we're here to teach each other how to heal because I'm not going to tell you to take some alcohol. Go rub a plant on your boo boo. Seriously, there are. There's plants right out in the yard here that you can rub. You got a fly bite, you rub it on, and it'll go away. But the fly bite will still be there, but you won't be itching. Or you can use it as that. You can rub it on your body. You think, look at the pain. Mosquitoes and that don't bug me much. And, hornets and wasps, they'll walk on me. Yeah, they. I'm not going to say they never sting me, but they haven't stung me. Right now, I'm feeling anyone who tells you that meditation is bad, they don't understand the stress process. It will bring memory, good and bad. It'll bring really figuring out it when you can tell the difference between what appears to be an illusion and what appears to be. Okay? Because think of it this way. For the ones that watch horror movies, okay, because there have been, I don't. And I don't understand why people do. But in other ways, I do understand. Maybe their mind can relate to what it is that they're seeing. It's an escape in one area. But it can also help to create chaos in your physical. And I just caught somebody laughing at that. You watch a horror movie and then you go to sleep. And you wake up the next day. If they're like, really influenced, they're I'm not going to say psychiatric, but way out in the spiritual aspect of it. You haven't got it figured out yet. Some would say, oh, well, I felt good because I felt cool from watching the movie. Because if you get, it's almost like, have you ever cried in a movie? Have you ever hollered at a movie? It's because it's part of your spirit. And I did say spirit. Part of your genetics, your generations before you. You're experiencing their memories, okay? I know. It's like, you speak the language. Yeah. So I was like, how the fuck am I going to speak TV when I don't know nothing? I'm trying to pull back. It's walking about because like, there's so many that want to speak up and speak the truth. And that's why I encourage you to speak the truth. If you're experiencing things that others won't understand, well, that's on them because there's more people around than you are led to believe that feel the same. They're just feeling like they're silent because they're mocked through a system. You look at you got your, like with Jesus, he's got, as I said, young male prostitutes and addicted people, people with anxiety, like people with addictions, people with anxiety, murderers. And I just heard this. In order to understand people, you have to be around. Sometimes you have to experience things, even if it's always not always nice things. You can understand. Not walking in their shoes, but being able to understand the feeling they have been experiencing. Because maybe you can relate it to certain from your past or most recent present. It's like I just had the urge to go grab a piece of chalk and start drawing on my desk, like a little, like a one in school. I painted the top of my desk with chalkboard paint. Ouch! I told my grandson that I'm going to paint the bedroom door there. I don't have it on the hinges right now because I got to cut the bottom off it because there's floor in it. And I, like, the floor's been there since 2020 and I haven't cut the door yet. It's okay. But I'm going to put chalkboard paint on it, and when the kids come, have a eat it. Just don't mark on the wall. How's it feel if when I flip flop like that? It just, I don't. Sometimes it pisses me off, and I'm honest with it too. Same as, like we get annoyed with ourselves. So, and that's why, like, whatever we're experiencing, sometimes we feel like we just want to run away from it. You don't want to be in that moment. And then you think of, like, being someone else when you take yourself over there, and then you're there, but you're in two places. So it's confusing. That could be more where the anxiety comes from. I use 432 remove or for anxiety. 432 alerts for anxiety. I haven't been using a lot of frequencies lately. I've been listening to birds more, but sometimes I'll put different frequencies on, like especially like, if the day's been overwhelming, I'll put on remove negative energies for myself in the home. And that's usually the 417 frequency. So it's more of being able to calm your mind and body at the same time. But if you try overdoing it, before you're ready, you slowly I didn't do a lot of meditating. I had to learn on the go. And to me, it seemed, it almost seemed like it came easier and more slowly, even if I did get irritated and pissed off at myself. And I used to do it whenever something would like just come out of my mouth. And that's why I said sometimes, like, it's our ancestors are speaking up to us too. So that ancestor may be the great 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 grandmother of someone in your family. So when you understand it like that, it's like nothing is just for once. It's like it's there's so many versions that's why so many people resonate. When you're feeling down, you know, they say misery loves company and happiness loves happiness. But sometimes the misery that loves company just needs somebody that they can talk to that's not always miserable. I know people, it's just like everything just dropped, like, huh? But yeah, it's weird. But I'll tell you, it makes a whole lot more sense than just sitting there and saying, "Oh dear Lord, can I have a new car tomorrow?" Noise. Me. I got accepted into university last year. I didn't go. I don't know if it was because I was trying to prove something to myself that I could get accepted. And I put the challenge in. I put into the challenge. But I'm still like pondering the stuff because I was going to take religious studies, not about religious studies, but there was different like psychology in there and ancient stuff, and it was just like I was all over the place. So I decided, let me do stuff here because they didn't have like the psychic type of things that are for what have you, which you know they should have all cultures available, not just your math and science and history and geography, but actual intellectual creativity. See, Jesus was trying to get you to see the system for what it was. Okay? And Yeshua was more of the teacher. Jesus was rough, tough, and a little cranky. It's like, what did the woman say? A grumpy old man. Medium, medium. Who said that? Holy shit! Yeah, this woman in 2017. Had an experience and I contacted them. I contacted a paranormal place and told them what was going on. And yeah, it was like she called me and she started saying a name. Well, first off, she was telling me that a grumpy old man attached himself to me from the time I was little, born to a specific age. And, you know, right now somebody's having some cramps because I know I'm not having my period. Like somebody's having, I'm feeling cramps in here. It's like, yeah, it almost feels like a contraction. He said them like, it's like I just know someone's having, you know, get that going. It's like I'm leaning back like this, like holy fuck, man. I'm just holding on to it. Like I can, it's like finish up. There's people, some are getting it released right now. Yeah, I heard some. Yeah, yeah, when we were younger, some would say, "Oh, Judy's love." Essa tua força fica tão muita. Isso qual é? Se eu mostro da tarde, nem sei que também. You know, what is grammar proper? Yes. I'm not making fun of people like that. I'm saying that like I would not like I would be able to do it, but that's the part of sometimes you have a little tomboy and you have that masculine. Growing up, man, I was a tomboy. I was spitting and walking. I was, and I was always going around cracking my knuckles. And you know, they say about like cracking your knuckles will make your knuckles get big. Your body needs to crack. Why do you like a chiropractor? What's the chiropractor do? Cracks your body, like cracks it, right? There's days where I'll just go like that, just twist it and crack it, and like feel off now. But you move your energy and you can feel it move, and then it's like weightless. Yeah, right. Yeah, when I experience this, it's just the nerve endings are just they're all moving at the same like moving. For example, it's with what you're doing, it's energy healing and moving energy and chakras and connecting with body parts. I follow, like, go up and down the chakras and follow the chakra line to where it would be. read it. You actually, like, it could be our own understanding. Sometimes we can do both. That's where you start listening to your both sides of yourself. I know. It's like people don't have to tell me that I can do it. I already know I can. Because at times I feel like I'm annoying myself because it's like people perceive me that I believe that I'm smarter or more intelligent or better than somebody. But I get confused a lot when it's trying to how I'm going to navigate and figuring out where I'm meant to be. Yeah, I don't know if it which one. It's like I said the other day that some people are playing cards and others are playing risk. Some people are playing checkers, while others are playing chess. And then I asked, what game are you playing? And for mine, I said, I'm not playing, I'm living. And that's what we do. It's living the experience of life, even when it sucks. But also learning. It's like doing it for self experience. I get impatient sometimes too, but I remain patient at the same time. I don't know if it's that way, listen to it, irritated. Because it's like sometimes you feel like saying, like, you gotta say, hey, deal with your own shit. Come on, work through your own shit. That's just when it's good. See, it gets like sometimes, like with certain people, yeah, it's like get off and like, do your own work because they've been piggybacking for too long, and it's time they see it for themselves, and that had to happen to me. But you do become impatient with people, but it's not because you think they're lacking in education or something. They don't quite understand their own God. Difference between knowing the body parts, but I mean understanding all parts of your body, experiencing all parts of your body. That's what meditation is. It teaches you how to be one with your even in a whole place. And you're not in your whole outside world. You're functioning. You're a functioning meditator. Not a meditator, but okay, I'm trying to put it into words. A master of your meditation. You can meditate on the go, and nobody even know that you're meditating. That's why it's like maybe some people they walk through life and they're just not seeing anything. And wondering, like, what the fuck? Like, are you not seeing that? Maybe they did see it, and it gave them anxiety, and they went into it. But you know, you can't hold your feelings. You can't bottle them up inside. You don't punch somebody upside the head because you didn't like what they said. See, it's like it's that part of you don't. Well, you can do whatever you want. It's like, yeah, I feel that like that old mother hen. You're always talking about. I have this on because it actually helps with the shoulder with the phone. It's crystals. I had a friend of mine. Well, I asked her. I didn't call her, but I asked her if she would. And for those first one, she did a pretty good job considering it was within the pre-program crystals. Yeah, we're all princesses and princesses. Yeah, something didn't want me to say that. Like, seriously? Yeah, we are all children of the divine, the creator of the universe. The creator just, got caught in some. Sucks when you get caught in your own web, don't it? I think we've all been caught in our own web at times. Sometimes we overthought things, or we said, what if? So we prevented ourselves from moving forward. Right now, it's like see, people think I'm seeing it or I'm feeling it or like that it's in my, but I'm actually experiencing it kind of in between my heart and my throat because it's like the voice is here, but the feeling is here. So it's that part of, it's being heard. You're hearing your inner voice, you're hearing your inner self, you're hearing your loved ones that you hold dear to your heart, but you're also hearing me. So your heart, both sides are trying to move through you and feeling your emotions as well. It's just the sitting still. Bird sounds actually helpful. Like, yeah, one day I did a meditation. That's pretty good for my first time. put on my put on my TikTok. So yeah, make your own. Like lay down and meditate. And put some with the like, different frequencies on, and then just kind of start softly talking to where you want to calm your body. So, like, it's like right there, it's in the heart. Porque tem esse assim, Supper. No, that's like an old school bell. But they say ring the bell. Oh, the crystal in there too. So yeah, it's like a little kid playing. I caught that, but I like the sound of it. So when you find a sound you like, and you do that, it's your body frequency. It's all connecting together. And right now, I feel like I'm a little kid, and I just want to grab at everything. It's like yeah, 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 that just like yeah, yeah, it's like you're ringing the bell for school. Get back to class, everyone. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave it there because you know I can't tell you how to believe or what to believe. They say seeing is believing, but sometimes you can even see it and still not believe it. But maybe it's not about fully believing it. It is being open, well, not open, but being informed of the different cultures, different way of life, different languages, different histories, what have you, and knowing that, depending on what side you're looking at and what you've been led to believe. And I'm not talking about just your history, but I'm talking about yourself. You have people that would tell you different things about yourself. Sometimes we tend to believe it as we grow up, and then that's where our life seems like it goes stagnant. And you hear people saying about bloomers, early bloomers, late bloomers, and yeah, they're never blooming. But if they're never blooming, it's like asking, why are they not blooming? What is it that they're in search of? Because whatever it is that they're in search of, and they're not blooming and they're not blooming, then they're not fulfilling what it is that what they're supposed to create, write, propose, sing, paint, envision. Envision, you start to see it before you create it. closer. It's like seriously. Spirit. Felt that. So right now I'm experiencing that someone's going through it right now and they're looking for somebody. Yeah, and like right now, like someone watching a movie where there's it's like maybe a man chasing for his kid. It's like I'm just asking because it's like a that's what it feels like. Yeah, I won't stay on things. Should I give you a great or like right now it's in the it's like sometimes you have to talk reason with yourself sometimes, even if it doesn't always seem like it's reason. It just seems more confusing. Is it analytical? Isn't it analytical? Well, it's a little bit of it could appear to be a little bit of overthinking, but it's more of seeing and trying to see it all. You might not see it all, but you see a better outline because you allow yourself to experience it instead of thinking about it. Mind sees it, but you, yep. We're just life's been a shit slinging match. Holy shit, we haven't evolved from monkeys yet? Whoa. So, with that being said, I'm sending you a card. Fíjate, tu de quién mata, ¿eh? Y la torre de if you want a rainbow, you have to put up with some. Yeah, sometimes it's rough and you roll with the waves. Whoa, let's hook up now. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. Yep, some people think they can't be authentic. If you do, you'll win. If you don't, you won't. That worked out well. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. If you do, you'll win. If you don't, you won't. So you gotta take a chance on me, but sing that to yourself. A year spent in artificial intelligence is enough to make one believe in God. With that being said, I'm fucking almost love that. Very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to receive and accept. I want y'all to be big, bold, brave, most importantly for yourself, be your authentic self. Be true to yourself, be kind to yourself, be true and kind to others, and know that you have more strength than you can comprehend at times. It's okay to appear ridiculous. It's okay to appear insane. You're being authentic. If that's, you know, I was going to say, don't run around like, oh, but we do that because sometimes you go to these Halloween costumes. So, I'm leaving it there. Send you all love. I'm going to reply this. I just got asked, how can you believe in God with regards to Halloween? Because God is a spirit, and Halloween represents the spirit in the physical world opening up. And that's what you're experiencing right now. So every day is Halloween. And many are playing what you would say would be dress up, but maybe they're just being their authentic self. Love you all.